Hello everybody, it's Honey Lou. Happy summer. So I'm gonna do a video about summer decks. I've been seeing a trend on YouTube, people doing summer deck vibes, and I wanted to join. I've been practicing and sitting with Lilith for about a week now, or whatever. I posted that video and then I deleted it. I want to sit with Lilith a little bit longer, but I have been practicing doing a video and I haven't been able to like completely finish it. I would stop, I'd mess up, and then I would just retry. And so I'm definitely learning every single day. I'm keeping that intention with Lilith and learning about my stuff. But I just want to do a video that I'm proud of, and I haven't been able to do it yet. But it's also been bringing up a lot of trauma and a lot of things that I haven't healed yet. So that kind of showed me that there's still a lot of things that I need to heal. And so I've been kind of like in a really weird mood, and I think it's because of Lilith. Also, there's like some things going on with my family, and so I'm practicing surrendering, I'm practicing just acceptance, and it's been rough, but it's going. Also, I'm trying to quit smoking as well, and it's been hard, especially with things going on. It's been really, really hard. So until then, I want to do a summary video. So these are some new decks that I got. This is the first one I got. This one I had like over like maybe a year and a half ago, and then I sold it, and then I got this one again. So this is one of the first decks that I actually repurchased that after selling it. And then this one's out of print, and I've been wanting it. So I found these two on Facebook Market. And I was telling myself not to get them. I think this one was like $70 and this one was like 35, around there. It was a little over 100, but the person that was selling these decks was able to compromise with me, so I got these for $100 with shipping included because that's all I had to spend on them. And so I opened them up. They were brand spanking new. You could tell that they were new because they were all stuck together still. You could tell they weren't even shuffled. So it was really cool that I got a good deal on these. And I was talking myself out of it because I was like, no, I don't want to get it because I'll just get it when it comes back into print because this deck will be back in print. This one's in pre-order right now. I think this one's out of print right now, but she's holding pre-orders or collecting pre-orders for this deck. So I ended up buying this deck first, and I freaking love it. So Heavenly Bodies, I feel like these are very summary decks too. These are my first astrology decks, and I find these decks to work really, really good. And I was ready for an upgrade, so I feel like these two are really good beginner decks. And this one's kind of like that next step up because it doesn't have keywords. So I learned astrology off of these decks. And I was just ready for something different, ready for something new and shiny. And so this is the one that I got. There's another astrology deck that I would love to get, and it's called Holistic Astrology Cards, and it's by Carney Zoyer. I don't remember, but I want to get like a bulk order because I think she's from Israel or something. She's somewhere out, not in the United States. So I wanted to get her books and I wanted to get her astrology deck soon, and then I was like, okay, I could afford this one right now, so I'll get this one. So I've been like going back and forth with either the holistic or this one, and I picked this one, and I freaking love it. So I wasn't ready for this deck, but I felt so stupid that I haven't got it earlier because it's amazing. I don't think I was ready for it, and I probably wouldn't have appreciated it then as much as I do now. I love this artwork. I think it pairs well with everything. I like this cardstock because it's not as much cards as they're less cards. So I think this is like 60 cards. But I like when an oracle has more thicker cardstock because I have big hands, and so it's easier for me to work with. Sometimes when cardstocks are like, if it's less cards and the cardstock is thin, it's a little bit harder for me to work with and to kind of work with it because I have, larger hands. But this one is so fun to work with. I'm able to glide, and the cardstock is nice, so it's very glidey. I love the darker cards with like Scorpio, Pluto, the mystical cards. This one, I didn't know what this was at first. I think this is one of my least favorite cards in the deck, but I still really like it. The wing. I was so confused what this was at first. I thought it looked like a wiener or something. This is my favorite card of the whole deck. It was one of my first cards I pulled as well. I love the Lunar Eclipse. This is one of my favorite cards. This is one of my least favorite cards, but it's still really nice. So yeah, this is my new favorite astrology deck. I'm really happy that I got it. I love Lilith. Lilith is one of my favorite cards. So she was actually the first card that I really noticed. And yeah, it's easy to connect with. I'm able to connect with the artwork and it's very intuitive. I love this whole picture as well. This is cute. I love Capricorn. Yeah, I love pretty much all of the cards. There's like maybe only two that I already showed you that I don't like, but I'm able to connect with them and understand them, so it works. I love these backs. Okay, and so the Vision of the Muse. This is the one I was actually going to buy if she wasn't going to compromise the price. And I wasn't going to get the Linus Oracle. I was going to wait for the pre-order, or I was going to buy it after the pre-order. But I was like, oh, I want it now. I just want it now. I want to work with it now. And so I couldn't wait. But this had like sticky cardstock as well. And you could tell, yeah, it wasn't worked with. But I soaped it. So now it's very nice. Easy to work with. I love these backs. I love these keywords. I love the artwork. Easy to connect with. I love this card right here. This one's really cute. I love this one as well. I think this is cool. And I think this is like, when I got the Linus Oracle too, I was really drawn to this one when I seen like Lisa Popez and Don Michelle post walkthroughs of these decks. And I was kind of like, ooh, I like that. Maybe I'll like her oracles more so than the tarot. Maybe I like collage oracles over collage tarot, but that's not the case. I think it was just me more progressing and learning and growing and having like more of a wider perspective on everything. And I feel like astrology actually helped me open up as well. I've learned so much from astrology, so I feel like astrology is like a really important part of tarot as well. I love this card. I love this card. It's my favorite. It's so clear too. I love this one too. I've accumulated quite a bit of oracles and I've been loving everything I've been purchasing so far. And I'm really happy that I'm starting to venture out other than using Thoth or like my usual decks. I've been really enjoying my decks lately. I love this card. It's one of my favorites. It's so clear too. I love this card. This one's really cute too. I like this one too. So I haven't used this one as much compared to the Stars Divine and Linus just because I got these a couple days ago. But I did pull a couple cards and I like it. I read the guidebook and it's good. Oops. Oh, here's some little crystals. Uh-oh, I gotta fix my phone. Oops. Okay. It's still going. Here's some crystals though. I love this crystal. It's one of my favorite crystals that I've got. It was like a little freebie and this was a little freebie. It's a little heart. But I usually keep this with my Thoth deck, but they've been sitting out. So the Linus Oracle, let me fix this real quick. I'm obsessed with it right now. It was really sticky when I first got it, and I used to think that it was rose petal finish, but it's not, it's matte. But I ended up soaping it, and it glides like a dream. And so it was really stiff when I got it, so I've been sitting here trying to soften it up. Although it still glides really well, it's still really stiff. But now it's actually pretty soft now, so it's comfortable to work with. My hands are really sore, my forearm is sore from working with this deck. It's a heavy deck, but it's beautiful. So probably like 80% of these cards I don't remember seeing when I first had this deck. There's only a couple cards that I remember seeing. But out of all of these decks, this is the one that I keep grabbing now. I love this card. And I find it to be very intuitive and very clever. I didn't remember this card, but I love it now. I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards. I remember like when I sold it the last time, I was like, do I want to sell it? Because I really like this card. I love the Ace of Pentacles and the Emperor. I don't remember any of these cards. This one either. And I was just like, I'm going to sell it. I wasn't a big fan of the David Bowie either, but now I don't mind it and I really like it. I remember loving the swords, the Five of Swords. Yeah, some of these I don't remember. I don't remember this card, but this is one of my favorite cards now. I think it's beautiful with the colors. See, this is really cool. I love this card. I love the Queen of Wands. This cup is beautiful. I don't remember it. I don't remember this one either, but I love it too. Yeah, this was probably one of my favorite cards in the Page of Pentacles with the cat. I remember this card. But I love it now. And it's so cool. I love this card. The Voyager Tarot is what really like kind of was another reason like I started to like appreciate collage, and I was able to read with collage. But before I used to think this deck was hard to connect with, but now I look at it now and I'm like, wow, it's really easy to connect with, and that just shows how much I progressed. I love this card. I don't remember this card, but I love it too. I was watching Dawn Michelle's walkthrough on this deck too, so it was kind of fun. I was able to kind of have that like kickstart of, you know, seeing her perspective or her go through the cards, and I thought that was really neat. I don't remember this card, but I love it. I love that van. That's like my dream car, my dream van is to have like a van like that. The shield is nice, the Four of Pentacles. I remember this card. I love it. Martin and Rose Bay Tarot were the ones that really inspired me to give this deck another try. I was like, man, if they really, really like it, there must be something true about that. Because every time I asked Rose Bay about a deck, she's always like was really honest with what she has to say about the deck. And she's super honest. And she'll tell me like, oh, I don't use a deck that often. Or, you know, so she'll, like when I get the deck, I'm able to, you know, I experience what she experiences, and but she's always very honest about, you know, she's not saying it's nice, or, you know, she's not sugarcoating anything, which is really cool. But this is one of her favorite decks. She's been loving the Vision of the Muse. She just got this one deck in, and so yeah, I've been really inspired by her Instagram. Another new deck that I got is the Gentle Tarot. So this is another deck that I rehomed. Surprisingly, because I live in Alaska, and I had the first edition first, and then I sold that, and it was because I wasn't using it, and I was like a little bit iffy about not selling it because it did remind me of Alaska a lot, and I did like it, but I just wasn't using it, and I just sold it, and then I don't know, something about like this tin is really attractive, and there was like, I don't know, I just had like this feeling like I want to work with that deck now. Since I've been working with other decks, I was like, I think I want to get the Gentle Tarot again. And it's summery, it feels very summery. I love how this 10 is. I already wrecked mine, which is really sad. I want to get another first edition because, well, I saw these backs and I was like, oh, she changed the back. She made some adjustments and I didn't know how I felt about that. And some of the cards were cut off, they were cropped off, and I was like, oh, I don't know how that's gonna be. But when I got this deck in my hands, I think it's super beautiful. I love these backs. I love the adjustments. And so if you get this deck, don't push on it. For some reason, I thought it was one of those tins where you had to push down and then slide, but you just slide. And so I feel stupid. But I love it. This deck was really sticky when I got it, so I soaked it as well. It's matte cardstock, easy to glide now, and so I didn't have to break this deck in. I was just able to use it right away. And it's fun to work with. I love this size. I think this is a cute pocket size. And I think this is like kind of maybe the smallest I would go in a deck. Because I have big hands, and I love that there's like, it's a thicker cardstock because it's easier to work with for me. And I appreciate this cardstock. And I think this cardstock works really well with this artwork. It makes the artwork pop. I think it just matches it aesthetically with like that matte feel, like Alaskan Native culture, and like our artwork has like this matte feel. These color palettes are very tribal, and I could see like a lot of other tribe people would really appreciate this deck. So I'm happy that I have it again, and it's been a lot of fun. It's really cool to, yeah, I always thought this deck was beautiful. It's just I never thought. And the guidebook is amazing. The companion book, this baby is so freaking beautiful with the colors, the handwriting, her perspective. I love that card. And like, I love all these colors. It reminds me of like a cookbook. And it's just really colorful. Sorry, I'll zoom out later. I love this card. There's so much detail with like the wings. I love this. This feels very Alaskan. Fishes and eagles, even the bears. This reminds me of home. I could relate and resonate with all of this artwork. I love this card. It's probably my favorite. I love the detail in the shell and the crab. And I think this cardstock looks really good with this artwork. Or even with like the detailing, like it really adds to the detailing in these cards. This one's really striking. I love this Three of Swords. This is cute. I like how it feels very diverse. And the animals, I love this card because it's orange. Orange is my favorite color. I love this card too. I love all these cards. I don't think there's one card I dislike. I love this card with the Putchki plant. Like, I'm allergic to Putchkis. When I touch one, I'll get like, I'll get blisters in between my hands, and then I'll swell up, and it's really uncomfortable, but we get a lot of Putchkis where I used to live. There's some in Anchorage too. I love this card. It's my favorite. I love the colors. I think she did this like the otter justice. Like it's beautiful. This is one of my favorite cards in the beginning as well. When I first got this deck, I thought this would be a cute card for like the Empress as well, because it's very watery, and mothers, like, they have their babies sleep on top of them and they just float in the ocean. And when I used to go tendering and fishing, I would see otters sleep, and it was so cute watching them just sleep in the waves, and then their babies will be on their bellies, and it's so cute. I freaking love it. I love the little kelp everywhere. We have a lot of kelp where I live. Beach combing is so much fun. I love this card. It's one of my favorites. So this feels like a hot spring, or like Juneau area of Alaska. This is one of my favorite cards. It feels like we have these plants everywhere, and that, like, the body language reminds me of Aleut dancing. This also feels very Hawaiian as well. So there's a mixture of Hawaiian and Alaskan, and also, you know, like the Pacific Ocean we share with, you know, Hawaii. So yeah, I love this card as well. I love the choice of colors. I love this card. I love her body. That feels very Hawaiian. This is beautiful. I like the idea as the salmon, the baby minnow or baby salmon is the fool, because it's cool, because they go upstream, they spawn, they fertilize the egg, and then they die. And so when these are born, they have to, it's so cool how they kind of know where to go and how to, like, you know, the circle of life, and how they don't have anybody to watch them, or they don't have anybody to watch to know what they're doing. It's like they intuitively are guided to do what they're supposed to do, and they already know what to do, and nobody teaches them that. So they follow their guides, they follow their spirit, and it's so cool. I've always thought that was the coolest thing. I love this card. I love it when salmons turn that color. So they turn that color when they're in the river, when it has like more of like copper and minerals. They'll turn this with them. Yeah. I love the Empress though so much. One of my favorite cards. This is one of my favorite cards as well. I love the orange hair with the tan skin, and there's so much detail. See, this feels very Alaskan or Hawaiian. I love the Judgment. There's so much detail in the scales. This feels like King Cove. So Mari went to Kodiak, Alaska, and that's where I used to live too. And she went to Unalaska. That's like down Aleutian chain. So here's Alaska. Let me just zoom out. So she went to Unalaska, and it's like down here. And then she went to Kodiak, and it's like right over here, Kodiak Island. She said she lived for, or she worked for a little bit. I love this card. I think it's so detailed. This is one of my favorite cards as well. I love it. It's so beautiful with the rosy cheeks. This reminds me of, like, we used to have like this geese contest in high school and elementary, and I won a contest one time, but we had to draw geese, and you know, we were able to get our artwork in the calendar, and I won one time. So that reminds me of that. I love this moon card. And I enjoy looking at the backs too. I think it's so cute. It's one of the cutest little pocket decks that I've owned. And I've been into that pocket life. And that's something new for me as well. But look at how beautiful this guidebook is, or the companion book. It's all full of color, and it reminds me of a cookbook. So if I was to make a deck, I would definitely want like a cookbook style guidebook. Something about that I think is refreshing and cute and earthy. Okay, another deck that I've been using a lot. I put this deck away, and I started to use it again, which I'm super stoked. For some reason, this deck always feels like a summer deck for me. It gets too dark in the winter for me, I guess, to use it. But right now, it's really beautiful. I pulled out some like Thoughts decks that I haven't been working with, but I pulled them out, and they feel very summery for me. This one especially. This one's pairing well with everything, like the Stars Divine, anything. These I've been loving. It's my favorite pairing right now. But I love this deck. I think it's beautiful. It feels really magical. It's weird how some decks feel like that. They feel really special, like with their energy and like the energy they hold. It's not like really aesthetically, like aesthetically it's really cool, but also like the feeling I get when I use this deck. It's amazing. I love this card, and I love this little orb. Some Thoth decks tend to scrape like this, and some of them don't. I have quite a bit of like greenies that don't do this scraping, but I do have a couple that do this. So they all have like kind of the same cardstock, but it's like same but different. But I love this one. I love this card. that card. I love this card. I love them all. I love the sun. And when they scrape up, they tend to go on the edges and they make it look like this mossy green color. Like right there. See how dark it is. And this is the one I've been working with as well. This one tends to scrape a little bit. You're not really going to see it, but I'll pull. I love this card. So I've been really drawn to like my darker, more grayer. This one's like a gray blue. And it took me a while to connect with this certain deck, but I'm very connected to it now. I love this Empress card. It's one of my favorites. And this deck feels very summery to me. I remember when I first got this deck too, my first impression of it was like, ooh, I can't wait for summer. I can't wait to like lay a blanket down and use it outside. And that's exactly what I've been doing with this deck. And the colors have been on fire and it feels really cool. So I know this deck was like inspired like more in the winter time, but this deck has like that darker, mystical, summery feel to me, like at the nighttime, when it's a full moon. It definitely has a very mystic feel, and it's called Mystic Firestar, but it feels very like Pisces to me. I love it, and it's like iridescent, glitter, fluorescent, and it has like a lot of transparent colors you could see, and you could see the paint strokes. This deck is broken into, so now it feels really good. It's very soft. And then I've been using this one still. This one feels very summery in a way. Not really. I mean, but for some reason it's been working in the summertime. I still love to use it. I was using my blue Snow Starlight, and now I'm taking a break from there, and I've been just using these two. I've been wanting to use Inner Truth, but for some reason I haven't been wanting to work with that one yet. And I love it. I think it's really beautiful, but I just haven't been wanting to work with that one yet. But these two are my go-tos right now. Especially pairing, adding a pop of color. I love taking photos of this deck. This one's my favorite deck to take photos of. And the art, the blending, she did such a good job with just the whole thing in general. It's really, really well done. I love the orange swords, and there's like glitter on the swords. It's really special. And then another deck that I pulled out was the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So this is out of print. I love this deck. This deck used to stick together, and it was really difficult to break this deck in. So I used to work with it a lot and like shuffle it like crazy. It's super big. It's hard for me to shuffle. Hold on, let me get it like this. But I'm able to do it. I will shuffle it like this, and I'll just go like that. Or I will make sure I get a half. But I don't really have that problem with shuffling with my decks. This one I like to shuffle it all cockeyed. I think it's fun to do that, but I soaped it. This has a, like a, what's it called? A, what cardstock is it? I'm having a brain fart again. Laminated. It's a laminated cardstock. And I wasn't too sure if it was going to work with soap, but I tried it anyways because this deck is really heavy to work with. My hands are super sore with working with it. And I was like, I'm just going to try this soap. And I was really like hesitant about it because I didn't think it was going to work because it has like this plastic feel over on top. But it did. And so I was happy because this deck was really sticky and it was so hard to break in. But now it's glides, it's fun to work with. And I've been bonding with it. I love the guidebook. It feels very grounded to me, but it has like this starseed feel to it. But I understand like her words and like her perspective on life and Earth in general, and I resonate with this a lot. But it feels a lot more grounded. It doesn't feel like it's kind of out of the world. You know, you're able to grasp what's going on, and I like how simple it is. I love this card, but it's beautiful. It's so clear. I resonate with this alchemy as temperance because that's how I would interpret the temperance card. This it's cute. It's like cute and cheesy. I like cute and cheesy. Like this one's cheesy. I love this card. It's so beautiful. So one of my favorite cards. I love working with it though. It feels so lush and I love like holding it in my hands. This is another deck that feels very magical. Like it just feels so good to work with and like it feels powerful to me. Oh yeah, and then so did I show you how it glides now? Voila, it's nice now. Mysteries of the Black Madonna. I soaped this deck too, and it works really good. So there it is. I love this deck. I've been pulling one card a day. I love that this deck makes you do that. So it's kind of like this natural thing for me is just to pull one card, sometimes two, but most of the time this deck makes me take my time. And so I get to learn, you know, a different goddess every day, every morning, and I'm super excited when I get to work with this deck. It's by Hetinin Garabler, but I think it's so fascinating and so cool how she was able to incorporate different deities and different goddesses into tarot, and it's so fun to read the guidebook and to see how she kind of got each deity for each card, and it's always really clever. And this is Lilith. I love Lilith since I've been working with her a lot lately. But yeah, this reminds me of Hetinin right here. This one reminds me of her. Every time I look at this card, I always think of the creator. But it's incredible. This deck is definitely worth having. It took me a while to work with this deck, but I'm so happy that now is the time for it. Yeah, I think it's really cool. My favorite one is the first deck, Mysteries of Mary, but I wanted to work with this one. I mean, I love this one, but I like more of like the bright, but I think this one's beautiful too. So this, I don't know, like I've always felt like this wasn't usually my aesthetic, but it's getting better. Oops, I don't want to wreck with this. Come on. I guess I should have charged my phone before I did this. But yeah, I love this deck. It's awesome. Definitely check it out. Earth and Bone, I still love this deck. This deck feels summery and it feels, I don't know, I feel like it feels very seasonal. But this deck always puts me in a really good mood. Especially like with, if I feel really ungrounded, I usually like to pull a couple cards from here and it makes me feel better. It helps me kind of stay clear of what I want and to kind of you know, it's a good deck if you're in survival mode, I guess. But also it's really good for manifesting, kind of keeping you focused, keeping you, you know, setting your intentions right and correctly every day. And the guidebook's my favorite. It's cute. It's so unique. There's no deck out like this. Like some decks kind of blend all together, but I mean, if there was like a tarot shelf and there was a bunch of different decks stacked, they would all kind of blend in, but this one would just stand out because it's so different. You don't really see decks like this, which I love. And I'm not having any problems with the cardstock. I know some people were saying something about the cardstock, but I am not having any issues with this deck yet. It feels really good. Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. This feels like my best friend deck. This one's a little bit dark, so this one actually kind of feels like maybe end of summer feel to it, like end of summer, transitioning to fall. But this feels like my best friend, and I've showed her this deck and she loves it because it does feel like her. It feels like her art style. This is something how she would usually draw people, especially like this card. Different, like the body language. She's a tattoo artist. Her name's Bianca. She's B and I'm Honey. She looks like this girl actually. With the hair, yeah, that body shape, everything that looks like her. But yeah, this just gives me home vibes and my best friend vibes. I love this card. I want Bianca, this too, like something she would draw. I want Bianca to make a deck because she could whip out anything super quickly and she would definitely do a really good job at making a tarot deck. This has been my sucker card a lot, and I love this card. This is something Bianca would draw in color. This is so her. I love this card. Oh, I love these cards. These are the best. These are some of my two favorite cards in the deck, and they're together. I love how there's like there's a computer there, so it shows that he's reflecting. He's taken some time off, and this is like social media. So he left his laptop and he's just really enjoying nature. And so I think that kind of really shows like the mundane and what we deal with, because sometimes we need to get away from our phones. This one's just beautiful. I love it. I love the skinny horses too and the spots. I think that adds to it. The body language is so freaking beautiful. Yeah, this is a really, really special deck. One of my favorite releases this year. I can't wait for some other Kickstarter decks that are coming. But this one was really good. I was really happy that I backed that deck. Road to Nora Oracle feels very summery for me. And it's really beautiful. I love this deck. So this deck and Earth and Bone kind of have like that similar vibe for me in the way how you work with the deck. It's just kind of a pick-me-up deck. And it's not a deck that I would usually use every single day, but I mean there's times where I still, you know, want it and need some guidance throughout the day. The Voyager Tarot. So this one is a vintage. The cardstock was super sticky, so I soaked it and it worked for this cardstock as well. Also, this deck smells very chemical. Like it smells like chemicals, which I was really worried about. For some reason, I thought it smelled like diesel at first, and then I messaged the person I bought it from, and I was like, this smells like diesel. But then later on, I kind of like smelt the box and stuff, and the box didn't smell like it. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just the way the deck smells. So yeah, it smells like chemicals, and it could be because of it's laminated. Yeah, I've been wanting to work with this deck because I haven't really worked with it. And so since I tried the soap on this laminated cardstock, I wanted to try it on here. This feels very summery. I honestly feel like I prefer the mass market version of this deck. But it's timeless. You know what? I think they should upgrade on the cardstock. They should put like a matte cardstock. They should just like really switch up the Voyager Tarot just a little bit. And I think that'd be so cool. And it would just give it more of a fresher look. Because this feels very vintage, but I still freaking love this deck. But I just pulled this one out because I wanted to soap it up. But I still prefer the mass market version of this deck. But this feels very summery to me. Celestial Bodies. I feel like this deck is not a beginner's deck, although it has potential to be. I mean, it's just a lot more work because there's no keywords. It's hard for me to connect with it, but this was my other astrology deck. It's huge, so it's like an altar deck. It's meant for you to kind of place it on your altar, do a card a day. But this feels very summery to me. I don't like working with this deck, honestly. I don't like the plastic feel of this deck. It's easy to work with, although it's big, it's heavy. So I'm happy that I have a working deck that's new and I'm connecting with it much better. But yeah, I wanted to just mention that. I don't really understand what's going on in this artwork. It's pretty. It's, yeah, I don't know. I wish I got the smaller version, I guess. I would love to get the She-Wolf Tarot eventually. I haven't got that one yet. I do got like one of those cards, which is cool. I always thought this deck looked really cool. Just never had time to get it yet. Because there's so many decks out to pick from. What else? Cantagee Oracle is a perfect oracle for the summer. So if you want a homework deck, this is one. It gives you prompts. So Guardian Goddess Tarot Thea, she worked with this deck last summer, and then she put it on her window, and so she tanned her deck, and I loved that idea, and so I was like, I'm gonna do that this summer, and so I did. I've been working with it. When I pull a card, I just leave it on the windowsill, and then I just leave it there for like a week. There's still some cards up there, but these are the ones that I've took down. So the lighter ones are the ones that got some sun. And so you could see how this one has like a circle because there were some cards that kind of overlapped it. And so you could see the old color and this is the new color. And I think it's really beautiful. I didn't realize how much like teal-y this one was, but I love this bright blue. So the colors that are just green, those are the ones I haven't worked with yet. So I'm almost done. This is one I put it in, this one has water damage, but it looks cool. So after, it feels magical. It feels extra magical with like bathing it in the sun, having a tan. It feels like it's cleansed. It feels like there's a lot of magic that went into this deck. And after you do that though, the deck gets a little bit more looser, so it feels like it's already broken in and you don't have to like shuffle it. I heard people talk about the warp, this deck warps, but I never had an issue with it. But I love the artwork. I love the titles. I love everything about this deck. It's a fun deck to work with in the summertime. I pulled, what was my card? Oh, my card was the Your Feet Are Fish or something. That talks about making a choice. Oh, I love this card so much. It's my favorite. This deck pairs well with everything as well. I love that card. Oh, I like it. I think I want to read that one. Anyways, yeah, I'm just having fun with it. I think it's super cool, super neat. I think I want to start putting more decks on the window and see how it works. So yeah, I like that now. I like that it looks like this. Super cute. Highly recommend doing that. I've been working with the Wild Unknown Tarot. Everybody knows what that deck is. That deck feels very summery. What else do I want to show? The Queer Tarot by Ash and Chess. Ashley, and I forgot the name. But this deck is beautiful. I love this deck so much. I love this cardstock. This cardstock feels Super cool. I've never felt a deck like this before, but it's one of my favorite feels. It's one of my favorite things about this deck. I think it suits the deck much more. It like gives it more like personality, I guess. But this deck has loads of personality. I really love this color palette. I love that cat. Every time I look at this deck, it makes me feel really happy, though. I love it a lot. So I'm happy that I got this finally. It's so fun to overhand shuffle that deck. What else have I been working with? Oh, my favorite. Where's it at? Oh, here it is. So here is my 1996 Thoth. I've been loving this deck. I love this bag. So this was a gift from Maria, and I absolutely think this deck is stunning. So I have a 1986, and it's very vibrant. They kind of cut off some of the artwork, and I don't like it when they do that. But it's a cute deck. But this one is my new favorite one because it's very light, it's muted, but it's very natural. It's very colorful, but like in a very natural way. I love this thinner cardstock with this deck. And I think that like the modern days, like I really enjoy like these smaller versions of Thoth. And I think they're easy to see too. Like I'm able to see all the details. I'm able to see all the symbolism. But I've been packing this deck everywhere I go, and I love it so much. I used to not like this card, but I really love this card now, in this deck especially. This is the Prince of Pentacles. There's something about, I love this card. I love the earthy feel this deck has. It's so weird, and I love this card. But I've been really, really loving this deck. So thank you, Maria. I am super stoked. I love him too. I love this card. It's my favorite card. Yes. So cute. I just take this and put it in my purse every time I go somewhere, and I take it downstairs when I'm putting baby to bed. I'll sit there and lay by him while he drinks his bottle, and then I play with my cards. And this is usually what I like to take. Lately, I've been packing down the Lioness Oracle Tarot and my Misprint Thoth. And then I grabbed this one too, just because, you know, I never know. I always do that. I'm always packing my decks up and down stairs. One JJ Swiss. I love this deck. This is a 1969 copy. Right there. This is A.G. Mueller and U.S. Games. Leon broke this a couple days ago, and I was really sad that he tore it because it's vintage. And I don't want to fix it. I don't want to tape it. I'm just going to leave it like that. But this deck, I love this cardstock. I love the feel, like the size. I like how it's like this yellowy, this color because it matches the backs perfectly. Like it just looks so papery, and it feels very papery. This has like one of the best cardstocks ever. I've been really enjoying my time working with this deck. It makes me smile. And the vintage copies are a little bit more muted. Like I think nowadays they're a little bit more overly saturated, super bright colors, but this one's bright, but it's very muted in that way. So it feels like an old vintage deck. And I was really happy with like how much I paid for it. I only paid $30 for this deck. And it's way, I mean, this deck is older than my Thoth deck, and it's older than my Blue Box Rider-Waite-Smith. This one has the exact same cardstock as this one. So yeah, I was really curious about what the cardstock would feel like with this one. My favorite cards is the Empress. I think she's super freaking beautiful. Look at her. I love her face. I love that hand gesture. I love her dress. I love her boobs. I think this card is really magical. Her hair. I love the line work in this deck, and it's so cool. I love the majors, how they're so different. And this is usually a deck that I like to carry with me as well. I like to take this out. I'll like go through phases. Like lately, since I got new decks, I haven't been working with this one. I still do work with it every single day, but I was super obsessed with this deck, and it was like the only deck I was working with. This is one of my favorite cards as well. Super detailed, and this is my favorite card. So the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and this card. I just love him. I love his beard. So are those called handlebar beard? But anyways, I think it's attractive when guys could pull off the mustache right there. I think that's super hot. The horse, the line work, his outfit, everything about this card I think is stunning. Can't get over it. I feel like my taste in decks have kind of shifted within just a week. So I was obsessed with certain decks last week, and now I'm switching. The Tantric Dakini Oracle feels like a very summery deck, but I am taking a break with this deck just because I have other decks. I completed this Oracle, I worked through it all, and now it's up for me just to work with it and to really use it intuitively, but I'm taking a break. Ooh, I think I want to bring it back out again, but this is my favorite deck of all time. Our favorite Oracle deck. It pairs well with everything. I love my little bag for it. It's the best. I want some more crochet bags. What else? Playful Heart Tarot feels very summery for me. I was in a mood with this deck. I love this card. It's my favorite card. One of my favorite cards. There's so many favorite cards. But I was working with this one, and then I got the Queer Tarot, and the Queer Tarot kind of I started to work with that one more. And, but I love these colors. It feels very summery to me. And I don't know, I get really obsessed with shuffling this deck. I'll get ungrounded working with this deck because it feels so good to work with, but it's a cute one. This is my favorite one from Kitten Chops. I don't know if I'm going to get the Pip Speak deck. It's cute, but I don't think it would be on the bottom of my list to get. The Divine Love Oracle. I love this deck a lot. Still use it a lot. Pairs well with everything. It's so convenient because it's small. It gives you that easy, quick message. 110 cards. And I think it's beautiful. I love how it has that Polaroid feel, and that feels very summery to me. There was another Polaroid type deck that Thea at Guardian Goddess Tarot loved, and she did the speed dating with it, and I want to get that one because that feels very summery to me. And she's obsessed with that deck. This is my favorite card in the deck. I love it. I love that color. This is the reason why I purchased the first edition over the second edition, because of this card. And yeah, all of the images got changed in the second. The spelling arrow got fixed, but it's all the same words. But I'm happy that I have the first edition. I paid $60 for it. I was surprised because I bet that to make playing cards, and usually when you add all it up, it's usually $70 or $110. Oh, and I heard that Chelsea, what's her name? This one feels very summery. This was my favorite summer deck last year. I haven't picked it up this summer, really. I did for a little bit, but I love this deck, though. Oh, man, maybe I need to pull it out now. I have a misprint of this deck, and I would love to get the first edition that doesn't have a misprint. But, yeah, I love the cardstock on here. It's black core. It's amazing. Noble always feels very summery to me. Especially this one. This one I was obsessed with last year, summertime. I stopped working with it ever since I got this one because this is the new one and I use this one more, but these two feel very summery. I think you can never go wrong with the good old Marseille deck. I'm still waiting for my Tarot Graphe deck to come in. That deck's taken forever. I ordered it February, and it's February, March, April, May, June. So it's going to be like 5 months coming up. I love the changes. It's cool. This is one of my favorite cards. Love that one. There's so many cards. I love a lot of the court cards and the majors, the colors. Oh, so good. Love it a lot. And I think that's it. Yep. That's it. Okay. That is my summer list. Pretty sure last year I was obsessed with the Kazan Tarot. I mean, the Archetype deck is really good. I'm taking a break from that one right now. Dirt Jam, always a good one, especially because it's gardening time and plants. And oh yeah, this is my other Thoth. I don't know if I showed this one before, did I? But this one is my trimmed greenie. I love the colors, especially in the sunlight. It really looks cool. It's like my Instagram Thoth deck. It feels like it has one of those warm filters on there or like a green tint to it. Okay. Yep, I think that's it. All right, thank you for watching. Bye. Oh yeah, and also I wanted to say thank you to the 600 plus subscribers. I am super excited about that and I appreciate you all and I'm so happy that you're here. So yeah, thank you. Bye.